Well, I also thank you at the same time, because my dad was in Vietnam, and I needed people to do something about Vietnam.
Yeah,
I needed to know they were doing something.
good.
And I'm always gonna be sad that you were, in the car. You didn't really shoot the gun, right? But I love that
But
you
my
made it
human
into-
responsibility.
Yeah, you made it into something useful for everyone else.
Yeah.
You made meaning of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
At a time when people need to know there's alternatives to violence. Right?
Yeah, and action, like what does action mean? How can we act? Becomes really important, because I think, nihilism it's so life-sapping.
And cynicism.
Yes, yeah, but it's really, like, I think our rage arose in part because we were the last generation that actually believed this was a democracy.
Right.
We
Yeah.
voted Nixon in people voted Nixon in. We went and lobbied. Corporate interests had an awful lot of money backing people into that kind of activity. But there were promises to end the war, and they were betrayed, and then the war was expanded. And I think some of our rage came from we believed, and my grandsons, like, they do not believe, not even close.
We struggle with that when we've been planning nonviolent things, like who is the target, right? Your corporation that's giving you your Visa card? I mean, who is the target? It's spread out.
Right, and that's
it's
where—
so big.
Yes, and that's where understanding its institutional nature is so useful. It's like you could take all the current CEOs and stock billionaires out of the question, keep the systems the same, and they would reproduce themselves.
Right.
So that's understanding, we used to say the system, and we didn't really know as much about systems, but we know a lot about systems now, and we can see where, like, one of the things I do a lot is study where something surprising is happening. Where did an extractive project fail because of lack of capital? How did that come to be? What dried up? So it's like to know how the systems are behaving instead of to get the human beings who are acting those systems out as our target. Like, except in my mind, if I'm face to face with them, I will invite them to see their own contradictions. And then to do whatever seeing that leads them to do. I'm not going to tell them what to do with that. But, I mean, I feel like sometimes that's the only action I can take. But I think that's potent.